Do you remember when Prince Harry said this last week?
Beginning of 2020, I was scored the highest as far as risk was concerned, and then overnight I was reduced to the lowest.
Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah, that's when he was complaining after losing a court appeal demanding British taxpayers fund his security on visits to the UK. He lost the case, of course, because he and Meghan chose to step away from the royal family and embark on a life of celebrity in America. But as a reminder, he went whinging to the BBC about how he can only come to the UK if he's officially invited, which would give him a security team.
Where does this leave things moving forward? The ability of your children to see their grandfather?
Life is a precious thing, and I'm acutely aware of the fragility of that. I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited.
Well, surprise, surprise. It turns out Prince Harry is a massive raging hypocrite. Take a look at this picture obtained by the Sun newspaper today. It's the Duke of Sussex himself, pictured on a doorbell camera, calling at houses in a London street as he looked for a friend's home. Harry, who has always insisted he feels unsafe without armed cops, tried his luck at 3 random houses before finally finding the right one. It gives a whole new meaning to the game knock down ginger, doesn't it? One resident said their housekeeper opened the door but didn't recognise Harry. And another source told The Sun 2 of the houses he knocked at are at complete opposite ends of the road, which is about half a mile long. It's a bit odd he didn't seem to have a clue which house he was aiming for. I don't think many people would just walk down a road knocking on doors, let alone if you don't feel safe. The Sun on Sunday previously revealed Harry also stayed at a friend's private home and, against security protocols, had a Deliveroo sent to the front door. So let's just recap for a second, shall we? Harry's been battling the Home Office in the courts demanding taxpayers, you and I, fund huge armed police teams for when he visits the UK. He's been complaining he simply can't bring his family to Britain without armed police and refuses to fund his own private security because he's entitled to British coppers. Yet at the same time, he's gallivanting up and down a busy London road, there he is again, that picture, knocking on random doors, all by himself, trying to find a friend's house without so much as an advisor in tow. And by the way, it was less than a year ago that Harry and Meghan were given a stately welcome to Colombia, one of the most dangerous countries on earth, in what critics called a faux royal tour. Time and time again, Harry and Meghan have both proved themselves less than reliable when it comes to the truth and left wanting in their constant pleas for sympathy. And tonight, I actually feel sorry for the King, King Charles, who, much like Meghan Markle's father Thomas, can't see his grandchildren because of Harry and Meghan's behaviour. If Harry feels unsafe enough to walk down a London street without security, banging on doors and getting food delivered via Deliveroo, surely he can arrange to bring his kids to see their unwell grandfather at one of the very many well-protected royal households across Britain. For me, Harry's making a deliberate decision to keep his children away from the King, and it's a big crying shame. 22 bombshell, revenge, Meghan, Harry and the war between the Windsors. Tom, good evening, nice to see you. What do you make of this picture? I mean, I opened the Sun newspaper this morning, I just couldn't believe my eyes.
Imagine being a prince and ending up on someone's Ring doorbell like a lost delivery guy. No security, no dignity, just Prince Harry wandering a quiet London street, knocking on strangers' doors, begging for help. You think this is made up. It's not. Tom Bauer says it's not just humiliating, it's calculated. But that's not even the weird part, because what Harry was really doing out there might change how you see him forever.
I think it just shows what a desperately sad man Harry is. But on the other hand, it does show that the litigation he brought against the Home Office was not really only about protection. He knew very well that he wasn't going to get it. I think it was all about trying to embarrass the King. It was about destroying the monarchy. It was about all the time me, and Meghan. And very much it was Harry wanting to say that he is somebody who can make huge problems for his family. And I'm not totally surprised by this. I'd heard he's pretty desperate. He was looking for company. I think that really is the issue. Harry feels completely isolated from Britain. And what's remarkable about that particular Sun exclusive is that he didn't have one of his bodyguards, who he pays a lot of money to to go and find his friend. It just shows, really, that Harry's pretty incompetent above everything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. As I said in the introduction, it just lays bare the rank hypocrisy. What do you make, Tom, of these accusations that Harry is using his children as a weapon, I guess, against his family? He's basically been accused of saying, look, give me this protection, or Father, King Charles, you're not going to see the kids because I just simply can't bring them to the UK.
Of course, it's blackmail, emotional blackmail, and that's what he's been doing for some time. And unfortunately, it's something as well his mother did against Charles. The one point about all this is that Charles is not well, obviously. He's got cancer and being treated. And Harry is using that as a lever too. I think he did that interview because he was incandescent that in the end, his litigation failed. It cost him allegedly £1.5 million and got him nowhere. And he shouldn't have started in the first place. The point about Harry is he doesn't know what to do anymore. He's losing all sorts of relations in Britain. He hasn't got a purpose. He's embarrassed with his charities in Africa because not only the Centre charity but also Africa Parks is now causing him great problems. Invictus is really only once every 2 years. He's losing any reason for being the prince. And I think he's now realizing, slowly but surely, he made a terrible mistake by leaving. And this is what it's all about now. Make me an offer so I don't cause you too much embarrassment in the future.
Let's rewind. Not long ago, Prince Harry stood in court demanding special police protection. Too risky, he said. Too dangerous, he insisted. Without royal security, he couldn't step foot in Britain. But then it happened, a grainy doorbell cam clip hit the tabloids. Harry, alone, hoodie up, confused, wandering, no guards, no entourage, just knocking at 3 different houses, half a mile apart. He looked like someone searching for a couch to crash on, like a college freshman lost during Freshers Week. Now here's the thing. If you really believed your life was at risk, would you casually roam the street like that? Or did the prince forget his own script? Tom Bower didn't forget. Tom Bower isn't known for playing nice. He's the author of Revenge, the book that tore into Meghan and Harry like a royal wrecking ball. When this story broke, Bower didn't just comment. He detonated. He called Harry a sad man, not just desperate but manipulative. He accused him of using King Charles's illness as a PR weapon. No security, then you don't get to see your grandkids. That's not protection. That's blackmail. Bower claimed the lawsuit wasn't about danger at all. It was about power, control, making the monarchy bow, but then came the photo, the viral knock, and the illusion cracked wide open. If you've ever felt someone was playing a role just a bit too well, you'll relate to this.
Tom, just finally, do you think Harry's happy? Because Meghan, in the past couple of hours, she's posted some pictures of their date night last night, watching Beyonce in concert. We've got some pictures here. This is what Meghan put online a couple of hours ago. Harry there. I mean, he's smiling. He looks happy. He's wearing a pretty funky hat. This is a selfie. He looks slightly sweaty, as you'd expect at a concert, I guess. And Meghan also posted this picture of inside Harry's hat. So there's a British flag, there's a flag of the United States, there's the outline of the continent of Africa, there's Archie, Lily, and the words "my love," which I think is Meghan's nickname, right, Tom? Do you think he's happy, really, Harry?
I think they're just actually brilliant media manipulators. It is extraordinary how the moment one headline comes up, or like the one in the Sun, or the moment Kate does something with her children, the Montecito media machine gets whirring up, immediately gets the retaliation in, and this is really all just part of the battle. No, he's not happy. She's clearly very unhappy because she's had some terrible reviews for her programs, but all they can do all the time is fire pot shots. Yeah. And we on this side are enjoying the spectacle because there's only one way that this can end in the end, and that's badly. But there's a lot more peaks and troughs and hijinks to go before we really see the climax of this astonishing saga.
Yeah, the Sussex psychodrama, as they call it. Tom Bower, thank you for your company. Really appreciate it. Let's get the thoughts of my panel now. The former Labour advisor Paul Richards, former Scotland Yard detective Peter Blexley, and the journalist and broadcaster Linda Jubilee. Good evening, panel. Have you had a nice day in the sun?
Lovely.
We have.
Good. You all look quite spring-like.
Yeah, been looking good.
Ready to go.
Linda, the Lib Dem. Paul, the Green.
If only.
Peter, the what are you?
You take a guess.
Peter, you're just Blexley. You don't need a nickname. Linda, let's start with you. Ladies first. Do you feel sorry for Harry? I do. He looks thoroughly miserable in my book.
I don't know that I feel sorry for him. I'm becoming increasingly irritated by him. And although this kind of reveals something about my age, I was actually outside the hospital where the Lindo wing is when he was born. I was one of the reporters doorstepping the hospital. So I've reported it on him across a lifetime. And I'd be the first to say that when his mother died, it was his treatment, really, by the royal family was completely appalling. But he has to be able to put the past behind him, and he has never succeeded in being able to do that.
As the internet exploded over Harry's street saga, guess what Meghan did? Posted pictures, Beyonce concert, cute date night, Harry in a goofy hat. Inside the hat, their kids' names, a British flag. The word my love, it was staged like. A romantic movie prop suite on the outside, awkward on the inside. But why now? Critics say it's a classic Meghan move, trigger the scandal, then flood the timeline with glam. One commenter said, Meghan Markle, the queen of I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway, and they weren't wrong, because while she posed like a lifestyle blogger, Harry looked like a man who'd lost the map and the script, and the biggest plot twist? Hollywood seems over it, fewer invites, fewer friends. No empire. What empire? Another wrote, she has no empire. Just mason jars and mood lighting. That one ring can image Harry alone. Knocking became iconic. It wasn't just. Embarrassing, it was symbolic. Of what? Of a man who left the palace gates swinging, and now can't even find a door to open. Of someone who walked away from duty, sued his own security detail, and then asked the same system to save him, and now he's standing in the cold outside with nothing but a phone and a broken narrative. Tom Bauer didn't just expose him, he buried the act. And if you look close enough, it's not hate, it's heartbreak, because this isn't just about Meghan or the crown or Delaveru at the gate. It's about a man with a title who no longer has a place.
Right now, the whole idea of making taxpayers or asking taxpayers to fork out for his security when he knows perfectly well that everyone is having a really, really hard time with the economy at the moment is unrealistic. I'd say more than unrealistic, it's almost narcissistic the way he behaves.
But Paul, his argument is that he, by law, should be entitled to this. That other people who aren't members of the royal family, who are private citizens, get this level of security through the Home Office. So he has accused the establishment of stitching him up because he chose to leave the royal family.
I mean, it reminds me a little bit of that scene in Love Actually where the Prime Minister is knocking on doors to try and find the girl of his dreams. But Hugh Grant in the movie had a copper with him, and this guy now is just wandering about London without any protection. I mean,
that's insane,
at all.
Isn't it? What's going through his head doing that?
Very dangerous thing. And, you know, not taking on the arguments about whether he should have security or not, that's been settled by the courts. But, you know, he did serve in Afghanistan, and there are people that would quite like to assassinate the son of a king, you know, who hate Britain. And to put himself in harm's way like that just seems daft. Where were the security detail? Did he dismiss them? What's going on?
What do you make of this picture on the screen, Peter Blexley, former Met Police detective? I mean, what would you say to Harry if you were his security advisor?
Well, I've supplied security to higher net worth individuals in the private sector. So I've protected people similar to him. And for him to be able to go walkabout down a London street without a security detail will have been his decision and his alone, and only he can make that decision if he is paying the security company. So I should strongly suspect that's what he's done. Now, when I read his book, Spare, I was absolutely astonished at the amount of drug taking he admitted to. And in my experience, when somebody stands down their security team, it's because they're going off to do something they don't want their security to know about.
I mean, I don't think we can say he was going to his mates to have a sex.
I hadn't quite finished, but, you know, maybe he was going round his mates for a pizza and a bit of something that he might have, you know, sourced from Colombia. Maybe he wasn't.
Oh, no.
Or maybe he wasn't.
Yikes.
But normally, people stand down their security team because they're going to do things they don't want their team to know about.
Well, obviously, Prince Harry's not here to defend himself on that. I mean, it's completely, I have to say, Peter, it's completely baseless. I mean, you are putting two...
And I said maybe. I said maybe. I didn't say was. I said maybe. Who knows? We don't know.
In his book, he talks about, what was it, magic mushrooms, smoking weed, and... Cocaine as well, of course. What do you make, though, Linda, of these pictures that Meghan's put up tonight? Tom Bauer just said there's a PR exercise if we can get them back up.
Oh,
they went to a
completely.
Beyonce concert, they're happy.
It's
They're in love with Linda,
completely-
look at them, they're having a great time on a date night.
It's all a charade.
Total.
It's a total grandstanding charade.
What do you think of his hat?
I actually quite like the hat, but nevertheless, I think the way they cavort around, they don't have any self-awareness at all about what people must think. They need to stop all of this, stop all the Netflix stuff, stop all the stuff that leans on all their connections, and start thinking about how they might actually make a meaningful documentary and how they might actually, for example, amplify the Invictus Games or start a new charity or add to some good work.
Well, how are they going to make a living if they don't carry on with all this
that's my
tripe
point.
that they keep churning out?
That's my
Don't you think
point.
the hat is a bit bonkers, though? What's it got, like writing and stuff on the
It
inside?
says Archie, Lily and My Love. My Love is the
Who has that in
nickname
a
for
hat?
Meghan.
Who has that in a hat?
Paul, do you think Prince Harry, finally, before we move
Yeah.
on, Prince Harry said that he's going to be asking Keir Starmer for help in this process to try to reform the security
that's
arrangements with the Home Office and so on?
I can't see it because of the reasons that have been discussed in law, but also just in terms of public opinion. I think he's made his own bed, he has to lie in it now.
Yeah, all right. I had, viewers at home, I had made a private pledge never to, A, do trans topics again, which I've stuck to, and B, not talk about Meghan or Harry. But this picture this morning, I woke up and I was astounded. The incompetence, the hypocrisy, I just had to do it. I had to cover it off. So there we go. Let us know what you think. What a story, by the way. A great tabloid story from my old friends at The Sun. You rang, my lord? There we go. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/your say.
You wanted out. Harry, you traded legacy for limelight. But here's the truth no Netflix doc will show. You can't burn the bridge and expect a royal welcome. So next time someone says he was mistreated, ask, was it mistreatment or was it consequence? And if you've ever given up something real, only to chase something fake, you'll know exactly how this ends. Because royalty isn't a role, it's a responsibility. And when you treat it like a costume, you end up knocking on doors while the crown moves on without you. Let's just say, if this is rock bottom, someone better check under the ring cam.